You're listening to Sox in the Basement, a production of the Broadcast Basement Limited, where every show is 30 minutes of good and comes from a basement bar on the south side of Chicago. Pull up a stool, pour a cold one, and join us right now for Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at soxinthebasement.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the south side of Chicago. My name is Chris Lanuti, and you are listening to Sox in the Basement, a simulated 2020 season brought to you by the fine folks over at Cork and Carry at the Park at 33rd and Princeton. And right now, you can go online, get yourself some food, get yourself some burgers, some wings, some dogs. They've got wraps, they've got salads, they've got appetizers. Load up, sit down, and listen to a ball game that we hope to bring you in about 90 minutes or so, sometimes more, sometimes less. Now that we're out of Boston, I expect these games will go a little bit faster as the White Sox return to Guaranteed Rate Field for a 6-game homestand that will take place over the next 7 days, with the Mariners up first before the Minnesota Twins arrive this weekend. The White Sox sit at 6-3 going into this game and have won all 3 of their season series to date. And they enter this game a half game behind the Minnesota Twins, virtually locked in a tie for first place in the AL Central. Remember, you can catch up on each and every game that we do with the recap, complete with box score, at SoxOn35th.com. Sox on 35th, a blog that we have teamed up with as a podcast to bring you the best virtual experience you're going to get. Each and every game. We announced it a week before opening day, and we've been doing it since opening day, and we'll continue it as long as necessary. Without further ado, let's go out to the rate and get this first of 3 games against the Seattle Mariners started. It's Sox in the Basement, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at soxinthebasement.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Guaranteed Rate Field on the south side of Chicago as Sox in the Basement, using MLB The Show 20, presents another simulated game in this White Sox 2020 season. We'll keep doing this as long as need be, and it has been a lot of fun so far as the White Sox enter this game 6-3 with Reynaldo Lopez taking the mound for his second start of the season. He is 1-0 over 7 innings pitched with a 1.29 earned run average and a whip of 0.71, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts in his first appearance. He has had the best start of the season so far for this team through 9, coming from the starters. And he is 5th in the rotation as Malik Smith steps in, batting lefty, and we will get this game underway. Lopez, knowing coming into this season that his manager was not a big fan of where his head was at when he was out on the mound, throws the first pitch outside for ball 1. He came with a purpose. He showed that purpose and that fire in the first game. He gets his first home start now as the White Sox finished off a 4-2 road trip and have won all 3 series on the season so far. Next pitch taken for a strike, 1-1 the count to Smith. Lopez into the wind in the pitch. High and outside, ball 2, 2-1. 60 degrees, partly cloudy, wind is 12 miles an hour blowing straight in from center field. It may be difficult to hit one out today in the rate. A Monday afternoon game, so a thin crowd as this one is chopped to the pitcher, Lopez, who comes off the mound towards the first base side and makes the play, flipping it over to Jose Abreu for the first out of the game. J.P. Crawford now steps up to the plate, hitting .480 so far in this season for the Mariners. With 5 RBIs, has yet to clear the fences, with 1 out here in the top of the first. A lot of substitutions today. Ricky Renteria's boys had to work their butts off in Boston with some long games. This one is flied out to center field. Robert underneath it will make the grab with the shades still on. 2 outs here in the top of the first as Lopez is working quickly. 5 pitches, 2 outs so far as Mitch Haniger steps in, hitting .282 on a 5-game hit streak. Tim Anderson has a 9-game hit streak but will not go for number 10 today as he takes a seat and will hand over his shortstop duties to Leury Garcia today. Danny Mendick moves over to second. He played third yesterday in Boston. Yohan Moncada returns to third base. Abreu's over at first. James McCann is catching today, giving Yasmani Grandal the day off. 1-1 count, and this one is grounded over to Abreu, who flips to Lopez as he runs the first. He hit him halfway between the mound and the bag. Lopez caught it on the run and beat Haniger to the bag. 1, 2, 3, they go. We go to the bottom of the first. No score, and the White Sox coming up. We mentioned some shuffling. We'll get to those other shuffles to the lineup, but first I want to tell you about Marco Gonzalez pitching for the Mariners. 2 starts, he's 1-1 with a 6.75 earned run average over 9 1/3 innings. He's given up 12 hits with 7 strikeouts and 3 walks, and a whip of 1.61. So he did get a win, but overall, when you look at the body of work, has not pitched very effectively through 9 1/3, and Leury Garcia will lead off. He's playing Anderson's position, and he's sitting at his number 1 position in the lineup here for this game. He takes one low and inside for strike 1. The Mariners are 5-5, which puts them 4th in the American League West, 10 games through the season. A lot can change, though. The season has just begun. Garcia batting righty against the lefty Gonzalez. And that's a changeup taken for strike 2. He's quickly 0-2. So Garcia steps in for Anderson and will hit in the 1 spot. He swings at one in the dirt. It is dropped, so they're going to have to throw it down the first base on the drop 3rd strike, and it will go down as a strikeout after he is out at first. So Gonzalez collects a strikeout on 3 pitches, and Luis Robert, who moved into the 2 spot yesterday and performed so well that with some other guys on the bench today resting after a brutal series with Boston, hard fought, long games, and the quick turnaround traveling and having to start a day game here in Chicago on Monday, takes a strike inside. And then Robert fouls the next one down the first base line. He's got the average up to 233 after performing well in Boston in the back half of that series, and was a beast in the 2 spot yesterday. He's got 1 home run. It was in this stadium, off the kid zone deck in left field. The pitch. He swings and misses at strike 3, and he goes down. Gonzalez has seen 2 batters and struck them both out. So Marco Gonzalez looking sharp here early on, in front of a sparse Monday afternoon crowd on a sunny 60-degree day on the south side. Jose Abreu comes to the plate, one of the hottest hitters in baseball and on the White Sox, hitting 400 right now, and Gonzalez delivers. Low in the dirt, changeup 79 miles an hour, and that is ball 1. 2 home runs for Abreu, 5 RBIs, got an OPS of 1.132 in his 10th game here in this very young 2020 season. Next pitch is lifted, pop to 3rd base. Easy can of corn as he calls everybody off. And the Sox are retired 1-2-3, just like the Mariners. So the first inning is quick here. After 1, no runs, no hits, no errors for both teams. On to the second. Daniel Vogelbach will come up and lead off this inning. He's hitting in the 4 spot for the Mariners, hitting .359 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs already on the season. He has been a beast for them. Formerly of the Chicago Cubs organization, was dealt away. Struggled going back and forth between the majors and the minors, but if he keeps this up, he's a major leaguer for a while now. First pitch by Lopez taken for a strike. Second one fouled off down the 3rd base line, and quickly 0-2 the count here in the top of the 2nd inning. Both starting pitchers very effective in the first as Lopez delivers. Inside 4-seam fastball, pumps his fist and strikes him out on 3. Lopez has his first strikeout, looking like he's bringing the effectiveness from his first start right into the second one. Carlos Gonzalez steps in with a .281 average. Hitting from the left side of the plate, the righty delivers. This one is out into the left center field gap towards the wall and caught on the track by Adam Engel, who's playing left field today for the resting Eloy Jimenez, who has had difficulties at the plate and was clearly frustrated in yesterday's game. So Engel's in left, Robert remains in center, Mazzara in right. So essentially McCann gets the start today. Mendick continues starting but moves to second base. And Engel is out in left field. The 3 non-regulars for the White Sox that are out there playing the field today. That one swung on and missed. 1-1 the count to Kyle Seager, who's hitting .314. High averages all around here for the Mariners, and yet still 5-5. As he fouls off an outside corner 4-seam fastball at 96 miles an hour, 1-2 the count. With 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd, Lopez delivers. That one's in the dirt. He does not chase. 2-2. Lopez's manager was not happy with his focus last year, said so at the end of the season. Lopez knows he's on thin ice as the 5 starter with Michael Kopech and eventually Carlos Rodon coming to challenge for a job. Throws that one outside. He almost chased it, checks it up. 3-2 the count to Seager. with the next pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped off of the kneecap of James McCann. He will adjust his equipment and get back behind the plate. And the pitch. That one is chopped to second base. Garcia back on the grass in right field where he receives it because they were on a shift. And I'm sorry, Mendick. I'm so used to Garcia being over there. Mendick on the grass receives it and delivers it to Abreu. They're out of the second. No score. Juan Moncada started off 0 for 15. He's got that average up now to 250 with a home run. And is batting in the 4 spot today after taking a day off yesterday. And he needed it. He's on a 4-game hit streak after, like I said, that terrible 0 for 15 start. And had played in every game of the season before he took a day off yesterday. He's quickly 2-0 to Gonzalez, not going after some outside pitches near the plate. The next pitch on the way. That's a changeup for a strike. 2-1 the count. Really pretty day out here. It's sunny, a couple of clouds in the sky, and 60 degrees. If this was a day game on a weekend, this place would be packed, but it's Monday, and so it's sparse. The pitch on the way. If you're near the ballpark, you got time. Slide over here. Plenty of good seats available. 2-2 the count as he swings and misses there. And Gonzalez delivers to Moncada. And he swings and misses on an inside cut fastball and goes down swinging for the 3rd strikeout from Marco Gonzalez. And both pitchers dealing here on Monday afternoon. Wicked inside pitch there. Moncada felt like he had a chance at that. Encarnacion has lifted the average to 290 and bats in the 5 spot today. And fouls this one down the first base line. 0-1 the count. He's got 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. His OPS is 888. He is well on a 4-game hitting streak. A lot of the White Sox who struggled early on in the first few days of the season have started to find their stroke. The pitch from Gonzalez in the dirt. 1-1 the count. He scored 5 runs in the last 4 games, and he's basically a station-to-station runner, which shows the guys behind him have been hitting the ball. This one is fouled off the catcher, 1-2. Right now, we'd be just finishing the top of the first or maybe the bottom of the first in Boston. That game was slow, each and every one of them. This one is grounded over to first base and flipped to Gonzalez before he gets to the bag. He takes a couple more steps, and he beats Encarnacion for the second out. 3-1 on the putout. James McCann comes in, starting today for Grandal and catching, hitting 300. He's had a couple of games that he's played in so far, just a handful. And that one's on the outside corner, changeup taken for a strike. He's 0 for 5 lifetime against Marco Gonzalez with a strikeout. Gonzalez with his 20th pitch of the game. And a sinker outside called strike 2. McCann has yet to swing, and he's 0-2 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Gonzalez looks in. The pitch. And he swings and misses on a low changeup. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Gonzalez sits him down. A 1-2-3 inning, both pitchers cruising here as we end the second. Nobody has reached base for either team. No score here as Austin Nola comes up for the Seattle Mariners, hitting in the 7 spot as we start off the top of the third with both pitchers going 1-2-3 in each of their combined 4 half innings. As Lopez delivers the first pitch outside on a 4-seam fastball, 96 mile an hour, taken for ball 1. The next pitch on the way, again, trying to see if he'll chase. Same pitch, same location, same result, 2-0. Tom Murphy, the catcher, acquired this offseason, stands on deck. The next pitch he chases on the outside corner, down the first base line, hooking foul, about 3 sections before the foul pole. 2-1 the pitch. This one is lifted into left field. Engel will go back and watch it sail out over the bullpen in left field. 388 feet for Nola. Got out of here in a hurry, 108 miles per hour, and Lopez is the first pitcher that cracks in this game. The first hit he gives up is a solo shot here to the first batter in the top of the third. Nola hit it, dropped the bat, watched it, and trotted around the bases. Tom Murphy steps in now as Seattle leads 1-0 here. The pitch from Lopez, outside corner slider misses, ball 1. Murphy hitting .212 with a home run and 2 RBIs. We just watched the guy hitting .211 with no home runs get his first. The stats don't matter much early on in the season. Guys are working through things. First couple weeks are almost extended spring training for some of these guys as they adjust. And then pitchers adjust to them, and back and forth we go until we settle in probably around Memorial Day when you can really look at stats and tell how guys are doing and how teams are doing. 2-1 the count here. Lopez to Murphy. as he laid off an inside pitch for his second ball. Lopez looks into McCann and deals. That is a changeup, 83 miles an hour, hits the inside corner for strike 2, 2-2 the count. The pitch. Swung on and missed, 96 mile an hour fastball. Lopez brings the heat and took him off his feet there, trying to get around and catch up to that one that was right down the middle, dead red. And he just burned it by him, and Murphy takes a seat. One out here now. In the top of the third as Patrick Wilson comes up in the 9th spot. A righty against righty matchup. He swings below a fastball across the letters for strike 1. And the pitch is on the way. And Wilson pops this one back to McCann. He sheds the gear, almost loses it in the sun, has to take a stutter step, catching it one-handed, falling towards the really expensive seats there behind the backstop, but he makes the catch for the second out. 2 outs here in the top of the third, and Malik Smith pops the first pitch straight up in the air. McCann runs out and catches it for the third out in fair territory. They're out of the inning, but not before the Mariners put one on the board and lead 1-0 going to the bottom of the third. Adam Engel has had some opportunities when there's a left-handed starter, and he does very well from the left side of the plate, hitting .333, and he's found his place on this 26-man roster. I know Adam would have preferred to end up being the everyday outfielder, one of them, for the White Sox, but in the end, he's a speed demon who plays excellent defense and does well in a platoon role from the right side of the plate when there's a lefty on the mound. 1-0 pitch now to him as he puts this one in the left center field gap. They are not going to get to it. That one is going to get to the wall, and he is in the second base easily as it's scooped up by Smith, who gets it into his shortstop to prevent Engel from turning it into 3. He was already coming into second base as the center fielder was turning to throw, and if he's a little slower getting to that ball, you could have had a triple. Engel is fast, and he stands on second base right now with no outs here in the bottom of the third for Nomar Mazara, hitting .188. Engel with a lead at second base. Gonzalez checks the runner. Mazara shows bunt and pulls back. 1-0 the count. So Mazara showed bunt on the first pitch. Now the Mariners prepare for a bunt, starting to cheat in on the corners. The pitch on the way. He takes that one. He did not show bunt. Outside corner, 1-1. Gonzalez checks the runner, the first of the game for him. That one's on the outside corner for strike 2, 1-2 the count. So the bunt was on for the first pitch and then taken off as the Mariners started to pay attention to it. Next pitch is chopped down the third base line very softly. Runner safe at third, runner safe at first. That was better than a bunt. He hits it. It hits the ground about 3 feet down the line, down the third base line, and goes straight up in the air. And by the time the ball comes down, Mazara is able to beat the throw from Gonzalez, who had run over the line and caught it. He would have been better off waiting to see if that ball went foul. Instead, all runners safe, first and third now for Danny Mendick, hitting .182, but he had a heck of a game yesterday. Drove in some runs for the White Sox in Boston as they took that series on a Sunday afternoon before heading back here. First and third, 1 strike. Now there's 1 ball, 1-1 the count with no outs here in the bottom of the third. We got a runner 90 feet away. And it's time for the White Sox bats to find a way to get him in and tie the game. Swung on and missed, low sinker, 1-2 the count to Mendick. Mendick hitting in the 9th spot. Leury Garcia is on deck. No outs in the bottom of the third. The pitch from Gonzalez outside taken, 2-2 the count. Mazara is not a big threat to steal unless he gets the right opportunity here, as this one is chopped down the first base line, just foul. They were hugging the line, so if it would have been fair, he probably would have been caught. There might have been a throw home. The pitch. That one's low for ball 3. 3-2 the count with Garcia on deck, hitting .258 with 4 RBI on the season. And a full count with runners on first and third as the Sox trail by 1 here in the bottom of the third. The pitch on the way, and that one is chopped over to short. It's a double play ball. Mendick just got Mendick at first base. That was a close one. He hits it in a double play. Engel scores from third to tie the game. He's almost safe at first. We're going to take a look at the replay here as they're looking at it as well, the umpires, very quickly for a review. He does get him, so the review is going to uphold the call at first. The double play RBI. There are 2 outs now in the bottom of the third, and it is all knotted up for Leury Garcia, the one hitter in today's lineup, 0 for 1, and the pitch from Gonzalez. inside low for ball 1. Garcia is 0 for 6 lifetime against Gonzalez and is struck out 5 times. He does not see him well. And that's a swinging strike right there, 1-1 the count. So the Sox able to push a run across, not in the prettiest of ways. But they have tied this up. Both pitchers had not allowed a base runner through the first 2 innings. Lopez gives up a home run and then gets through the rest of the inning without any trouble. Gonzalez gives up 2 hits, gets the double play, but Engel scores. So neither one of them are perfect now. Both of them have given up a run already. 2-2 pitch now to Garcia as he chops this one to first base. He won't strike out, but he will be out. And the inning is over, but not before the White Sox tie it up. Going into the top of the 4th inning, 1-1. Foundation issues not properly handled can be costly. Family Waterproofing Solutions is owned by Ken, a veteran of the United States Marines, and his wife Maria, making them a veteran-owned business and a female-owned business that will diagnose and repair wet or leaky basements. During the current health crisis, Ken and Maria decided to pay each and every one of their workers, secure their jobs, and continue to give them health care from home. And while they're not currently going out and doing jobs, they will still give you an estimate and jump on into a video consultation right now. Plus, part of the proceeds for every job that they do are donated to veteran and first responder organizations who support our frontline defenders. And currently, Sox in the Basement listeners have access to special pricing when they contact Family Waterproofing Solutions now, 708-330-4466, or visit them today at FamilyBasementWaterproofing.com. And folks, you heard about Family Waterproofing Solutions right there. Let me tell you very quickly as JP Crawford gets up here, Ken and Maria still doing the right thing, holding their people back. But when they feel that it is safe, they'll be out there doing work. They're taking estimates like crazy right now. As part of the proceeds go to first responders and veterans organizations outside pitch ball 1. But they will video conference with you or just do it over the phone and give you an estimate for any of your needs. Go to that website right there. Remember, it's a podcast. You can skip back and get the information. And talk to them now. They have special Sox in the Basement discounts and offers. A lot of 2-for-1 deals in there, and I think there's a 20% off on there as well if you do it on certain days that they call family days. Crawford fouled one off. It's 2-1. This pitch is a base hit, soft liner in the right field, and he is on. So the first batter on for the Mariners here in the top of the 4th in a tie ball game. Nice solid hit in the right field. Mazzara gets it in. Crawford is not a big base stealer. He has average speed as Mitch Haniger steps in and takes a high fastball for ball 1. Lopez sitting on 36 pitches right now here in the top of the 4th. He has worked quickly and effectively. Inside slider, strike 1, swinging, as Haniger, who came over from Arizona in 2016, sits 1-1. That one is chopped fouled on the first base line, 1-2 the count. A rare 3-game set in which all 3 games are day games here on the south side. This pitch is outside, changeup, 2-2 the count. Lopez looks for the sign from McCann and delivers. Swinging strike outside corner, he could not catch it. 94 miles an hour for the 3rd strikeout of the game for Reynaldo Lopez. And Daniel Vogelbach steps in 0-for-1 with a strikeout in the 2nd. He's got a 409 OBP, and he's slugging .625 with a runner on first in the pitch. The left-handed Vogelbach lays off an outside pitch. He was a 2nd-round pick in the 2011 draft, and it's put up or shut up time now for him. He started the breakout last year. He's really breaking out now, at least early on in the season as he takes that pitch on the corner. Borderline call, goes for a ball, 2-0 the count. The pitch from Lopez swung on and belted deep down the first base line, hooking foul. This simulated broadcast of the White Sox season, just like every broadcast we're doing each and every day, swung on and missed, changeup, 2-2, is brought to you by Cork and Carry at the Park. Go to Grubhub and order some tasty food. Support your local business, so just visit corkandcarryatthepark.com. Nothing like sitting down watching a game with a basket of wings and some cheese curds, or maybe just go out and get yourself some Vienna hot dogs and smell the ballpark through your speakers. 3-2 the count now to Vogelbach. Runner on first stays right there as this one is low, called a ball, and Lopez walks Vogelbach. So with one out in the top of the fourth, we got a runner in scoring position on second, also a runner at first for Carlos Gonzalez, who flied out in the first inning, sitting on a 273 average here early on in the season. Lopez trying to do what most White Sox starters have been unable to do, and that is don't give up runs in the fourth and fifth inning when your team has just scored. There seems to be this danger period between the fourth, fifth, and sixth inning where Sox pitchers have struggled, especially after their team scored in the last half inning. First pitch called strike, second pitch called ball. Some fans on their feet rooting for Lopez. The pitch on the way, low, 2-1 the count. Now it looks like there might be something going on out in the stands. I see some people throwing their hands up and yelling. Maybe a little bit of a fracas out there. The pitch on the way. This one is low and outside, 2-2 on an 80-mile-an-hour changeup. Not a lot of speed at first, moderate speed at second. This one is lifted into right field. Mazara on his horse dives and misses the ball, and it will roll all the way back to the Goose Island bar. One run will score. Vogelbach came around third and then headed back in. Mazara with an ill-advised dive for the ball. If he catches that on the one hop, he probably holds the runner at third base. And we have bases loaded, and it's still 1-1. But an ill-advised dive, and the ball rolls all the way to the corner, and slow runners are able to get around the base paths. And with one out now in the top of the fourth inning and another runner across, Kyle Seager comes up with second and third. Luckily, Vogelbach runs like he has a piano on his back. He wanted to go home, but he was out of steam going first to third. First pitch is a ball from Lopez. The next pitch on the way. Inside changeup called a strike, 1-1. Seager's hitting .364 so far this season with runners in scoring position. He has two in position right now as his team leads 2-1. And that's an inside ball, 2-1 the count. Lopez have been extremely effective. Yes, that was a base hit, but Mazara lets him down defensively with the ill-advised dive. He's trying to make a big play there, but he was unable to get to the ball. Outside pitch called ball 3-1 the count. And Lopez now has to dig down deep. This is the first trouble he's run into all season. He cruised through his first start and the first 3 innings of this game. Fastball down the middle, taken. 3-2 the count, 25 pitches, 13 for balls, 12 for strikes so far for Lopez in this inning. And the pitch on the way. Swung on and lifted into center field. Robert, positioning himself in case Vogelbach goes, will catch the ball and throw this one in. There will be a play at the plate, and he is safe as the ball was to the first base side. Bang, bang play. McCann unable to get his arm around. Robert unable to put that ball in the right position for McCann. The runner at second held. He fell for the fake cutoff play and retreated to second base. But another run is in. It's 3-1 now with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. First pitch, four-seam fastball low, taken for a ball. Lopez's pitch count is soared now. This is his 59th pitch here in the top of the fourth. As he's run into trouble and given up 2 here in the fourth. He gave up 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. 2-0 pitch, swung on and missed, outside slider. He still looks like he's bringing good stuff. But they're making contact with him now. And like I said, that defensive miscue is really the reason that Vogelbach has scored. Even though it won't go down as an error, one of those runs is on Mazara, 2 of these runs is on Lopez. Swinging strike, 2-2 pitch, fouled off to the backstop, will reset with a runner on second and 2 out in the top of the fourth, and the White Sox trailing 3-1 here at home. Lopez looks in and delivers. And that one is chopped down the first base line, fielded by Abreu. He'll step on first, and the inning is over, but not before. Reynaldo Lopez and the White Sox run into some trouble, and 2 runs cross. Midway through the fourth, 3-1 Seattle over the White Sox. Luis Robert steps up, 0 for 1. He struck out in the first. He will lead off this inning with Abreu and Moncada sitting behind him. The pitch. Inside changeup taken for strike 1. Robert, international signing, signed out of Cuba, had dealt with some injuries in the 2018 season. As he flares this one out in the right field, and it is caught. Right fielder on the run towards the line makes it look easy. Haniger with a nice play out there. And that's the first out of the inning. Minnesota leading the Cleveland Indians 5-3. We get Minnesota next. We've already had Cleveland and took 2 out of 3 from them. Jose Abreu comes up 0 for 1 in this game with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th as Marco Gonzalez looks to get back on track after struggling a little bit in the 3rd. Jammed him. This one's going to be a can of corn out in center field, so quickly 3 pitches and 2 outs for the White Sox, who have not responded well, at least at this point, to the Mariners taking the lead in the top of the 4th. Moncada steps up with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th, and Gonzalez delivers his 43rd pitch of the game. Outside corner curveball taken for a strike. Moncada's 1 for 5 all time against Gonzalez with a strikeout. The pitch. This one is down the first base line, hooking foul by about 1.5 feet. Otherwise, it had double and possibly triple written all over it based upon where the right fielder is. As he's shifted a little bit closer to center than he is to the right field line. This one's called a ball, 1-2 the count, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th to Moncada. The pitch. This one swung on and lifted in the right field. An easy fly ball handled. And the Sox go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the top of the 5th. Murphy, Wisdom, Smith. They're up next. Tom Murphy's 0 for 1. He's catching today for the Mariners. He will lead off the top of the 5th against Reynaldo Lopez, 63 pitches through 4 innings and trailing 3-1. The pitch on the way from Lopez. Inside curveball for a strike. Murphy was a 3rd-round pick in the 2012 draft, spent most of his time as one of those guys that people believed when he got to the Colorado Rockies and into the majors would start tearing it up in that thin air as he swings and misses at that pitch. 0-2 quickly. Outside pitch goes for a ball. He took it as Cleveland climbed back in their game with the Twins now only trailing by 1, 5-4 midway through that game. This one is chopped to short, bobbled by Garcia. The runner will be safe. Playing out of position a little bit, but between Moncada, Mendick, and Garcia, when Anderson takes a day off, Garcia is the likely guy over at shortstop, and he mishandled that ball terribly and puts a runner on. Lopez has not gotten any help from his defense in this game today. They have put him in bad positions. This young man looked very good in his first start and looked good through the first 3 innings. Even after giving up the home run in the 3rd. Still looks solid. His team got the run back. Last inning, the wheels come off, partly because of the ill-fated dive by Mazzara. Now we got to run around because of the error by Garcia as he blows this one by Patrick Wisdom. Well, I think I was calling Wilson the first time he came up. So clearly, Wisdom is wiser than me, as I was calling him by the wrong name. 2-1 the count here in the top of the 5th, with no outs and a runner on first. That is not a big threat to go. Lopez checks him and delivers. Outside pitch, ball 3, righty on righty action right now with Malik Smith on deck hitting .333 this season. Wisdom's the 9-hitter. Lopez would like to get through him and have an out at least when the top of the order comes up. This one is a tailor-made ground ball to Mendick, flips to Garcia across to Abreu. 4-6-3, and Garcia takes part in erasing the run he put on first. He got taken out a little at second base, but looks to be okay. And there are 2 outs now in the top of the 5th, and the bases are cleared as the Sox continue to trail 3-1. Lopez to Smith, the outfielder. That is a strike on the outside corner. He was acquired from Tampa Bay in 2018. Showed bunt there and pulled back. But they're saying he did not pull back, so he couldn't get it back in time. An outside pitch is called a strike, 0-2. Check swing on a high pitch. This time they're going to say he did pull back and check it up. 1-2 the count. Smith looks discombobulated. He gets jammed, though, on this pitch and somehow lifts it into right field. Mazzara overruns the ball. Play at second. Smith is safe. That is a single and an E9. Mazzara is a clown show right now defensively out in right field. And that young man needs to tighten things up, as Reynaldo Lopez is probably going to have a couple comments for him when he gets into the dugout. Like, hey man, you're not doing me any favors out there. Normally, Mazzara might have taken a day off with Engel out there and gotten a rest, but Jimenez was in bigger need of the rest, so Engel's over and left. Mazzara gets a start against a lefty. which was not the case the last time a lefty started against the White Sox, and Engel responded to that, and it seemed to wake Mazzara up in the very next game. J.P. Crawford has a 1-2 count on him after Lopez gets him to swing at a low outside slider. The next pitch on the way, chopped down the first baseline foul, and will reset. Smith has a ton of speed. A base hit will score him and lengthen this lead. The pitch on the way, high inside fastball taken, 2-2 the count to J.P. Crawford. Lopez slows the game down a little bit, now delivers on the outside corner, strikes him out looking on a low pitch at the knees on the outside corner. And he's out of the inning with a big K and survives his defense. Going to the bottom of the fifth, trailing 3-1. Edwin Encarnacion will lead off for the White Sox. He's hitting in the 5 spot today. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out in the second. Marco Gonzalez sitting on 46 pitches here through 4 innings. Out here for the fifth, the lefty delivers. And that's a curveball taken for a strike that started outside the zone and dropped right back in down the middle at about 76 miles per hour. Encarnacion would like to see that again and know what's coming. The pitch on the way, and he chops a fastball straight back. 0-2 the count to Encarnacion. Sox trail by 2, the pitch. Outside pitch taken for a ball, 1-2. The pitch from Gonzalez swung on and missed on a sinker that didn't sink too much, but just enough to miss the bat. The 5th strikeout of the game for Gonzalez, and he gets Encarnacion, who goes back to the dugout shaking his head. Sox had that 1 inning they got on Gonzalez. Otherwise, he has been masterful on the mound as McCann steps in 0 for 1. This is a case where we have a guy at the top of the rotation for the other team going up against a guy at the bottom of the rotation for yours, just because of the amount of games that each team has played. This is the 11th game for the Mariners, so Gonzalez the ace. As he gives up a line shot down the first base line, it's going to roll into the corner. McCann on his horse to second is in standing up as the ball comes in, way to the outfield side of first base. It does not turn into a play. He has his first double of the season, and with 1 out, the White Sox have a runner in scoring position. They're going to have to chip away against a guy like Gonzalez, who is the ace this year. At least that's where he is in the rotation. He's already pitched 2 games. It's the 11th game for the Mariners as Adam Engel steps in. So you got an ace pitcher against your 5-starter today. It's just the way that things rolled around. Ricky Renteria wants to give all of his starters every opportunity to show something, knowing he's got 2 other starting pitchers that'll be knocking on the door, likely, before this season is over. Engel's had success against Gonzalez. He's 1 for 1 in this game, 2 for 5 lifetime against him. And the pitch on the way, as he lifts this one into left center field gap, that one is going to get down and go to the wall. McCann coming around third base is going to score. Engel's already at second. He will think about third and then retreat back to second. The White Sox drive in a run. Adam Engel has had 2 well-hit balls in this game as he hits a double and drives in a run, his second double of the season. He's had 2 doubles in this game, and Adam Engel now stands on second base, the tying run, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th as Mazzara steps in, hoping to make up for the reason the White Sox are trailing by 1 right now. He's 1 for 1 with a single in the 3rd. He's got a .212 average so far in the season. As Engel leads a little bit off of second base, I don't know if he's going to go, though. He fakes going. He holds back. Inside changeup. Called for a ball, 1-1 the count. Lefty against lefty here, the pitch. This one's chopped foul, and Mazzara is 1-2 with Danny Mendick on deck. Engel with a lead. They keep looking at him. He does not go. The pitch flared out in the left field. That is going to be a can of corn. Engel will retreat back to second base. It was a deep fly, and the moment he caught it, he just let that thing fly in to short. Engel, not risking it and advancing, will hold at second base. So Mendick comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th and a runner in scoring position, as the White Sox already have 1 in this inning, and Gonzalez delivers a low inside sinker for ball 1. Mendick has taken advantage of runners in scoring position. He's hitting .500 right now with runners in scoring position. He's knocked in a couple on this season. He's 1-1 right now, and the pitch from Gonzalez. High outside pitch on the corner, taken for ball 2, 2-1. As the fans start to get a little excited here, hoping to tie this game up right now here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch. Inside taken, ball 3 with Leury Garcia on deck. He of the no good luck ever against Marco Gonzalez. And this is where you'll miss Tim Anderson, who needed a day off today. This one is lifted over to second baseman into the right center field gap. Engel will score easily. Mendick to second base as the right fielder tripped over his own feet and fell down on the track, but was able to quickly flip it. Haniger flips it over to Smith, who gets it in and holds Mendick to a double, an RBI double back-to-back. RBI doubles for the Chicago White Sox, and they tie this game up here in the bottom of the fifth inning against Marco Gonzalez. And Mendick now takes a lead at second with 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth, and a tie game for Leury Garcia. And the pitch from Gonzalez taken for a strike, changeup on the outside corner. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout. He's now 0 for 7 lifetime against Gonzalez, and 5 of those at-bats resulted in strikeouts. 0-1 pitch on the way. This one is fouled off down the first base line. He's quickly 0-2. Gonzalez going after Garcia. The pitch. Swung on and lifted in the right field. That one is down. Garcia plates Mendick, who comes around third to score on a single into right that gets down as it trailed towards the first base line, tailing away from Haniger. He's able to cut it off before it gets to the wall, but Mendick will score from second. And the White Sox take a 4-3 lead here. And the Mariners bullpen is up and going as Luis Robert comes up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. And everything has happened here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. It looked like Gonzalez was just cruising. And then he hit the bottom of the order, and they came alive. Low sinker for ball 1 to Robert, as Gonzalez starts to slow things down a little bit here in the bottom of the fifth. Came into this inning with a 3-1 lead. He's now losing 4-3. Runner on first and Garcia with Robert at the plate, and the pitch on the way. This one is chopped foul down the first base line, 1-1 the count. White Sox refuse to go away as that is taken for a ball, and have taken the lead in this game for the first time. They trailed 1-0. They even it up, each team scoring a run in the third. In the fourth inning, things went bad, and the White Sox gave up 2 runs. But here in the bottom of the fifth, they've scored 3. And Robert sits up there 3-1 with a runner on first. And Jose Abreu on deck. Gonzalez delivers. He swings at an outside changeup that would have been ball 4. The count goes full. He's anxious to do something. We've seen him do this already, where he gets anxious. He wants to be the star, and he swings at bad pitches. This one is chopped to second base, and it's a 4-3 putout. And the Mariners are out of the inning, but not before the Chicago White Sox score 3 in the bottom of the fifth and go to the top of the sixth, leading 4-3 here on the south side. Mitch Haniger will lead off here in the top of the sixth inning. And after the White Sox take the lead, Ricky Renteria's got Kelvin Herrera and Jace Fry tossing out in the bullpen just in case. First pitch inside low for a ball, as Reynaldo Lopez will face the 3-4-5 hitters in this lineup. Haniger's 0 for 2 against him. Grounds this one to the right side of second base. And the shift had Mendick right in place for that one. An easy 4-3 putout. 1 out here in the top of the sixth. As Daniel Vogelbach steps in and takes an outside slider for ball 1. Vogelbach has 14 hits so far in the season for his team, leading the Mariners hitters. He's 0 for 1 in this game, but he did walk and eventually score in the third inning. Takes a high fastball for a strike. 1-1 the count as Lopez sits on 86 pitches here in the sixth, trying to give a quality start to his team. This one is chopped up the middle between second and short for a base hit. Flipped in by Engel, who cut in front of Robert to get that ball and get it in. Robert was playing much deeper. Engel was more in the gap and shallower. So he gets to that ground ball and gets it in. Vogelbach's on first with 1 out here in the top of the sixth. And Carlos Gonzalez comes up 1 for 2 with a runner on first. Lopez delivers outside four-seam fastball taken for a strike. 0-1 the count. Kyle Seager waits on deck. Vogelbach not a threat to steal as this one is chopped over to first base. Trouble for Abreu. He does get it over to first just in time as Lopez covers. Abreu had to dive towards the second base side for that ball. It goes off his glove. He crawls to the ball and flips it from his back to Lopez a couple of steps before the base runner. They get him at first. So there's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, and Seager takes an outside pitch for strike 1. Inside ball 1, 1-1 the count, with Vogelbach standing at second base with a slight lead. And the pitch. Inside slider for a ball, 2-1 the count. So you got a runner in scoring position. It would take more than just a lazy base hit to score him. He does not have a lot of speed. Lopez trying to finish the 6th inning here against the lefty Seager. The pitch on the way. This one is lifted into right field, tailing towards the foul line, and it will get over into foul territory. Mazzara unable to get to it. 2-2. Lopez resets in the pitch. High fastball taken. 3-2. With Austin Nola, who had his first home run of the season against Lopez in the 3rd inning, waiting on deck. As Lopez hits on 94 pitches here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th and a 3-2 count with a tying run on second base. The delivery. Swung on and chopped foul on the third base line. Lopez deals. That one is flared out in the right field. It's going to be a base hit. The runner's going to come around third. We're going to have a play at the plate. He is safe under the tag. Oh, that was close. Good throw in by Mazzara. Bounced twice before it got to McCann. McCann with the sweeping tag. And the foot hit the plate before McCann's glove hit the back of Vogelbach. And this game is tied up here, 4-4, as Lopez pitches the Nola. And he's low for a ball, 1-0 the count. The bullpen is ready, but it looks like Renteria is going to give Lopez a chance to finish the inning here. He will not get the quality start, as he gave up 4 runs here, even if he gets through the 6th. A foul ball makes it 1-1, the pitch on the way from Lopez. And that one is lifted foul down the third base line into the crowd. 1-2 the count here, in a tie 4-4 ball game here in the top of the 6th. Inside pitch taken, 2-2. Lopez needs to gather his feelings here and deliver. Pitch number 101, swung on and missed. Strikes him out on a changeup. 101 pitches for Lopez through 6 innings. He gives up 4 and will likely leave the game, all knotted up and tied. Jose Abreu will lead off for the White Sox. In the bottom of the 6th in a tie ball game 4-4, Marco Gonzalez continues to pitch. And the first pitch is grounded to third. Seager has to dive for it, gets up and throws it from his knees as he dove towards the shortstop side. A great play to save a base hit. And then he gets the runner. He's a defensive specialist over there at third, and he just showed that. Gonzalez delivers to Moncada, hitting in the 4 spot today. He's 1 for 6 lifetime against this pitcher with 2 strikeouts. First pitch inside for ball 1. Moncada 0 for 2 on the day. He had been red hot, had to take the day off yesterday. Now he comes in and lifts this one into the left center field gap, trailing back towards the wall. He looks up, and that one is gone. Yoan Moncada hits one into the third row in the left center field gap, 390 feet. The White Sox retake the lead on his 2nd home run of the season. And the fans are charged up. Moncada takes the lead here in the bottom of the 6th with a well-hit ball that got out of here at about 105 miles an hour into the third row of the left center field gap. They're going to come out and get Gonzalez, but it's 1 pitch too late as Moncada takes one out of here, chases the starting pitcher, and the White Sox lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Matt McGill has had 7 appearances, 8 innings pitched for the Seattle Mariners with a 3.38 earned run average. He has blown a save. He's 0-1, 7 strikeouts to 5 walks. Lefties hit him much better than righties, at least so far in the season. Right-handed Edwin Encarnacion steps in against the righty McGill. Takes a curveball 85 miles an hour for a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a groundout, hitting .273 on the season. The Sox have the lead again in this back-and-forth seesaw battle on a Monday afternoon on the south side of Chicago. Inside curveball fouled off down the first base line, 0-2 the count. Swung on and fouled down the first base line. The count remains 0-2. McGill working quick, does a full wind, throws inside and almost hits Encarnacion, who gets out of the way. 1-2 the count. The next pitch on the way. Outside, 2-2. Encarnacion being patient now with this relief pitcher. Too patient there as he takes a slider almost down the middle. and goes down looking to McGill for out number 2. And here's James McCann. He of the dirty jersey. He has slid into the plate already today. He's 1 for 2. He's also had to try to tag out a few runners at the plate. Unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. He takes that one for a ball. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th and the White Sox leading 5-4. The Mariners have gone to their bullpen. The White Sox likely will start off the 7th in the bullpen. This one is lifted out into left field by McCann. Caught on the track in the corner. And that's an out. So the inning is over. But Yoan Moncada takes the lead with a solo shot. And the White Sox lead 5-4 after 6. Kelvin Herrera will come in to pitch the 7th inning. He has 3 appearances under his belt, 3 1/3 innings. He's 0-1. He gave up a run over an inning of work his first appearance. Gave up the winning run on a walk-off to the Indians a week ago today. And in his 3rd appearance, though, against Boston, pitched extremely well in that extra inning affair, pitched 2 innings and held down the Red Sox during their home opener. Was very impressive as this one is flied out to Robert, who barely has to move in center field for the first out of the inning as Patrick Wisdom steps in 0 for 2 with a pop out and a ground out. So he looked very good the other night on Thursday. In his 3rd appearance, he comes in here for his 4th appearance in the 7th inning with a 1-run lead against the Mariners. And already has 1 out, 1-0 count now to Wisdom. This one is chopped to Moncada, who takes it on 1 hop, double pumps, and tosses that over easily to Abreu for the 2nd out of the inning, and it'll be tossed around the infield. 2 up, 2 down. The order turns over, and Malik Smith, 1 for 3 with a single in the 5th inning, who's got a lot of speed. It was a single and an error on a misplay by Nomar Mazara in right field. He did reach second on that at-bat. 2 errors on the game officially for the White Sox. You could have charged a 3rd error to Mazara and had 2 for him and 1 for Garcia in this game. That one's fouled off, 0-1 the count. He lays down a bunt to try to beat it. It will roll foul, 0-2. Tried to drag bunt that down to 3rd base line and catch Moncada sleeping. This pitch is outside. Fastball, 1-2 the count. So he was swinging away on the first pitch. Tried to trick the White Sox, but bunted foul on the 2nd pitch. Takes the ball. And with 2 outs in the top of the 7th, Herrera, sitting on only 6 pitches, tries to finish off this inning quickly. The pitch on the way. That one is chopped to Moncada, who's playing in. He will throw that one over to Abreu for his 2nd putout of the inning and the 3rd out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th with the White Sox leading 5-4. Hirano will come in for the Mariners out of the bullpen. He's got 2 appearances. Nobody's crossed the plate that was charged to him. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks over 2 1/3. Adam Engel will face him. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. He's 4 for 8 on the season. We have righty on righty, though, now. Engel does much better against lefties. He's got a little bit more power against right-handed pitchers, statistically, but he does not make as good a contact. So while every once in a while he might put one out against a righty pitcher, his average drops significantly against them, and he's quickly 0-2 swinging in an outside pitch. Hirano was an international signing out of Japan. This one is outside splitter, 1-2 the count. Some felt he could end up being a starter, currently, though, in a bullpen role. This one is fouled off down the first base line, 1-2. The pitch to Engel here in the bottom of the 7th, outside taken, 2-2 the count. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the 7th as the White Sox lead 5-4. The simulated game brought to you by Cork and Carry at the park as Engel swings and misses at a low pitch for out number 1. Cork and Carry at the park, located over at 33rd and Princeton, is a Southside tradition, and their doors will be open when this is all over, but it's only going to happen if you support them now. Put them in your rotation of local businesses that you are supporting. They've got an incredible menu available on Grubhub, or just go to corkandcarryatthepark.com. Proud sponsors of Sox in the Basement. When we're doing our normal podcasts that come out every Wednesday, and we just started live podcast on Saturday when everything went down. So we've moved it to these broadcasts each and every game of the season. First pitch a ball to Mazara, next pitch a strike at the knees, 1-1 the count. So we're getting every game in. We've been doing it since opening day. We announced it about a week beforehand. Some may try to duplicate it, but you cannot replicate it when we're doing it each and every day and bringing you these kind of games that have been exciting and fun, and the White Sox have a 6-3 record. That one's fouled off, 1-2 the count. As the White Sox cling to a 5-4 lead, the pitch on the way, outside swung at for strike 3. Mazzara goes down. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Hirano has struck out the first 2 batters he faced out of the bullpen, as Jace Fry warms up alongside of Evan Marshall in the pen. One of them may be seen here in the 8th inning. Herrera looked effective, though, and may come out. Is this a ground ball to short on the first pitch for Mendick? Thrown over the first base. 6-3 put out. End of 7. Sox lead 5-4. Jace Fry will come into the game here. He's got 3 guys coming up to the plate, 2 of which do not do well against lefties. He's got 5 appearances, 3 innings. He's 2-0. He's got 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. He got into some trouble his last time out, but escaped on a brilliant play by Adam Engel as the Red Sox tried to come back on Saturday. Announced attendance for this game, 17,821 on an afternoon day game with 60-degree temperatures and sun here at the rate, but it is Monday afternoon. First pitch taken for a ball, next pitch swung on, outside, 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-1 the count. Marshall continues the warm in case Fry gets into serious trouble, but he will face 3 hitters. Crawford being the first one, who has very different splits between a lefty and a righty. As this one is lifted out in the right field, Mazzara gives chase and tracks it down near the warning track, but still on the grass for out number 1. Now, the guy in the middle of these 3 that Fry has to face does do better against left-handed pitching. And that is Mitch Haniger in the 3 spot. He's 0 for 3 in this game with a ground out in the 6th inning. He's hitting .262 on the season. He is not slugging as high as his on-base percentage, so he's not found the power stroke yet. The lefty steps in against Fry, who throws him a 92-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball high and inside for ball 1. 5-4 score here in the top of the 8th with 1 out. Fry delivers. Outside for ball 2, he's pitching around Haniger with Daniel Vogelbach on deck, who his splits show is not very good against lefties. Checks up on a low pitch. He did hold back, 3-0 the count. So the idea Fry must have is, I will not do well against Haniger. I will try to get him to chase. If he does not, I'd rather put him on and pitch to Vogelbach. But he gets this one inside for a strike, 3-1 the count. And I don't see why you can't challenge him a little bit. Don't just give him first base, but don't make a mistake either. That one's on the outside corner. That was almost a perfect pitch for strike 2, but he holds off and the umpire gives it to the batter. He'll walk 90 feet down, so we have a runner on first with a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Vogelbach comes up to the plate, 1 for 2, and Williams will come in, Dominic Williams, to pinch run now at first base. He has some speed. Vogelbach, the lefty, against the lefty Fry. First pitch, the runner stays, and it's an inside cut fastball for strike 1. Jace Fry trying to handle the 8th inning here. Has 1 out already. The pitch on the way, the runner goes, throw down to second, he is safe. Stolen base for Williams. But strike 2 on Vogelbach. The tying run moves into scoring position as Fry faces his 3rd batter here in relief with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off down the 3rd base line. Will reset 0-2. Fry checks the runner at second. The pitch on the way. In the dirt, it will roll. The runner thought about going, but McCann covered it quickly, kept it in front of him as it rolled up the 3rd base line. Runner holds, 1-2 the count. The pitch from Fry, swung on and fouled back, off the netting. Will reset, 1-2 count. Fry checks the runner at second. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed on an outside curveball that he chased. So Fry does his job against the 2 left-handed batters. Even though he put Haniger around in the middle, he's got 2 outs here with 2 strikeouts and a runner on second. And we'll see what Renteria does here with the 4th batter coming up. Marshall will remain in the bullpen as Carlos Gonzalez also has terrible statistics against lefties. His righty-lefty splits are very different as the left-handed hitter steps in against Fry, who throws an outside cut fastball for ball 1. Gonzalez is 1 for 3, but that was against the right-handed Reynaldo Lopez. As Fry checks the runner at second with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, clinging to a 1-run lead here at the rate. outside and high, cut fastball, ball 2. You can't let this guy off the hook because it's set up perfectly for you to bring in a lefty. The pitch on the way. Low, taken for ball 3. The reason you don't see Aaron Bummer out there is simply because Bummer went out and pitched deep on Saturday night and has not had even 48 hours since then. And I think Renteria does not want to bring him out and wear him out early on in the season to cause some sort of injury. Fry, though, walks Gonzalez on 4 straight pitches. That one looked close on the outside corner. He didn't get it. Kyle Seager comes up to the plate, 1 for 2, another left-handed batter. So Jace Fry gets it set up for him on a platter. He had 2 lefties out of the first 3 he faced, with 2 more lefties coming up in this order. He's a loogie pitcher by trade. He remains in, throws one in the dirt. Runners thought about advancing, they do not. Ball 1. Fry struggled his last time out as well. The pitch on the way. Outside fastball taken for a strike, 1-1 the count. The fans give him a big cheer as he's finally able to get a strike after throwing 6 straight balls. Jace Fry sitting on 20 pitches here in this inning. The pitch. Swung on and missed on a cut fastball, and he's 1-2 to Kyle Seager. Try and get out of this inning and preserve the 1-run lead and send this to the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. Outside, he does not chase, 2-2. Fry seems preoccupied with Williams on second base. He needs to focus on the batter. The pitch on the way. That one is lifted out into right center field. Mazzaro will just watch it sail out on a long bomb. 404-foot 3-run home run by Kyle Seager off of Jace Fry, who had everything set up perfectly for him to come in here in the 8th inning. Nothing but left-handed batters, basically. And he gives up 3 runs here with 2 outs. And the White Sox now trail by 2, 7-5. And that is a brutal result to Fry coming in to the 8th inning. Evan Marshall will come into the game, of course, as Fry walks off. Sox have played a heck of a game today and don't deserve to be losing this one. But Jace Fry, nobody even moved. That was a towering shot by Kyle Seager. He's got 2 strikes on him. He's got a guy who doesn't hit well against lefties. As Austin Nola steps in and takes ball 1 with the bases clear with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. The game is not over. The White Sox have hit well in this game. And they're going to have the top of the order here in the 8th inning. And they'll still also have the bottom of the 9th. But this is not what you wanted here in the late innings. It is the first time the White Sox bullpen, with the exception of extra inning games where they were already tied up late in the game, that they have given up go-ahead runs. This one is fouled down the first base line, caught in foul territory by Nomar Mazara to end the inning. The White Sox have some work to do as they now trail 7-5. Dominic Williams will play right field now. He came in to run for Mitch Haniger. So a big bat taken out of the order, but Seattle does have the lead. And they're warming up some pitchers in the bullpen as Leury Garcia gets ready to lead off the 8th inning for the White Sox. And he takes a high inside fastball for strike 1. Garcia 1 for 3 in this game. The White Sox trail by 2. Takes an outside fastball for ball 1. 1-1 the count as Hirano remains in the game for the Mariners and delivers. Swung on and missed on a splitter outside the zone. 1-2 the count. It was all rainbows and unicorns for the White Sox until 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Jace Fry has had 2 terrible appearances out of the bullpen as Garcia goes down swinging on a split-finger fastball that dropped out of the zone at the knees. He misses it badly, and there's 1 out here in the 8th. Luis Roberts steps up 0 for 3 in this game with a ground out in the 5th. Hitting .212 on the season, looked really good in the 2 spot yesterday with Abreu protecting him. Different story today against mostly left-handed pitching. He's got a righty up there now for him. He takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1 the count. Next pitch is fouled off down the first base line, and he's quickly 0-2. Abreu on deck as Hirano continues to deal. Throws this one outside. Robert does not chase, 1-2 the count. We've seen 2 pitchers really for the White Sox struggle out of the bullpen, as this one is swung on and missed. Hirano pumps his fist as Robert swung underneath a high fastball. 4th strikeout for Hirano in relief. He has 5 outs, and 4 of them were strikeouts of the White Sox. As Abreu comes up now with 2 outs, here in the bottom of the 8th with the White Sox trailing 7-5. And he swings and misses at a 4-seam fastball in the lower portion of the zone. 0-1 the count. Carson Fulmer has looked atrocious out of the bullpen to date. All of his stats are infinity. His ERA, his whip, he's yet to record an out. And Jace Fry, in his last 2 outings, has just been terrible. As 3 pitches, 3 strikes, Abreu goes down swinging to end the 8th. And the Sox cannot show any life after giving up the lead. We go to the top of the 9th, down 7-5. With the 8-hitter Tom Murphy up, Ricky Renteria elects to leave Evan Marshall in the game, down by 2 in the top of the 9th. And that's an inside fastball taken for a strike, 0-1. Cordero is throwing out there, along with Colome. But it looks like Colome will sit down now. Marshall will at least start this inning. And Cordero will be there just in case. As the Sox trail, and now Murphy is 2-1. The pitch from Marshall. High, swung on strike, 2-2 the count. 2-2 count, top of the 9th. White Sox down by 2. The pitch from Marshall, inside corner, doesn't get the call. 3-2 the count goes full. Patrick Wisdom on deck, hitting .279 in the 9th spot for the Mariners, who have put up 7 here against the White Sox in this opening game of the series. Murphy swings at an outside pitch and goes down. Marshall's got his first strikeout of the game. And Patrick Wisdom comes up 0 for 3 with a ground out in the 7th inning. He's got 1 home run and 3 RBIs so far this season. 1 out here in the top of the 9th, and Marshall delivers. Outside sinker taken for a ball, 1-0. Malik Smith, the speed demon, waiting on deck. The pitch on the way. This one's chopped down the first base line, fielded in fair territory. Abreu's pulled foul and runs back to the base to step on it for the unassisted putout. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Most of the fans have stuck around, even though the White Sox blew the lead here late. It has been a quick game as Marshall delivers to Smith. Changeup taken for a strike. It has been a quick game. The White Sox have shown the ability to come back in this game as they have trailed several times. And they continue to fight. And if you came out on a Monday afternoon on a beautiful day such as this, you might as well stick around and see what happens. That one's fouled off, 1-2 the count. The pitch from Marshall. Strike 3 taken down the middle. Bat never left his shoulders. Marshall blows it by for his second strikeout of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th, needing 2. Moncada will lead it off. Carl Edwards Jr. comes in. 4 saves and 4 opportunities, 5 appearances, 4 1/3 innings pitched. Nobody's crossed the plate against him. 7 strikeouts and 3 walks. And he hasn't given up a hit yet to anyone through those innings. Yohan Moncada will lead off. He had a solo shot to take the lead the last time he was up. That lead has been erased, and now the White Sox trailing 7-5. He'll try to get the White Sox going here in the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Moncada, Encarnacion, and McCann scheduled to hit. The pitch to Moncada. That one is chopped down the third base line. Close play at first. He beats it. Seager is unable to do it, and the reason he isn't is because he's on a shift. So he has to run all the way over to get the ball, and there was way too much momentum. It took him a long time to get to a soft ground ball down the third base line, and Moncada beats it by a step, hustling down the line. So the tying run will come to the plate. With no outs here in the bottom of the 9th, Moncada, the base runner in front, you could see him try to steal second if he wants to take the double play away. But in reality, he is not the run that will tie this game. So he's only going to go if he feels safe doing it. He's already been thrown out trying to steal earlier in the season. He's 0 for 1. As the first pitch, he cut fastball down and swung on for a strike. 0-1 the count to Encarnacion. That was the first hit Carl Edwards Jr. has given up this season. Moncada doing everything he can to get the White Sox going. This one's outside, misses for ball 1. Alex Colome warming in the pen in case needed if this one goes to extras. As the Sox trail by 2 here in the bottom of the 9th inning with no outs and a runner on first. McCann is on deck. The pitch on the way from Edwards. Inside, almost hit Encarnacion. Sometimes you shouldn't jump out of the way. Sometimes you got to take one for the team there. He doesn't wear a lot of body armor, though, and that one might have hurt. 2-1 count. Moncada leads at first. The pitch on the way. Outside ball 3. Encarnacion having a good at-bat here against Edwards Jr. 3-1 count with Moncada on first. The pitch on the way. Popped up into foul territory. Get out of here. Get out of here. It blows back in near the dugout and is caught by Seager. The shadow actually went over like it was going out of play and then came back over. The wind pushed it back in. One out here in the bottom of the ninth for James McCann, who's 1 for 3 with a double. And we'd like to see one of those right now. Inside pitch taken. 96-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. 1-0 the count. The pitch from Edwards. Low and outside, ball 2. Adam Engel's on deck, but there's likely going to be a change. He's not very good against right-handed pitching. And even though he's got 2 doubles in this game, he will likely not be the batter here if and when he comes up. Inside pitch. Edwards does not get the call he wanted. It 3-0 the count now to James McCann, who represents the tying run with Moncada on first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sox making it interesting. Not going down quietly against the closer Edwards. Outside pitch taken, ball 4, borderline call, he gets it. First and second now, the winning run will come to the plate. The tying run's on first, and Moncada's over at second base. Let's see if Renteria makes any changes. So some substitutions here. Anderson will get a true day off. He will not come out and pinch run. Instead, it'll be Eloy Jimenez pinch running for McCann, and Yerman Mercedes is in to hit for Engel with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. The first pitch in the dirt, rolls back to the backstop. Runners will advance 90 feet. 1-0 count to Mercedes on a wild pitch by Edwards Jr. The tying run's on second now in the form of Eloy Jimenez, and Moncada's over at third. Double play is far less likely as Mercedes, who's had 1 at-bat this year in a pinch-hitting role and actually got the hit, steps in here for Adam Engel with a 1-0 count and a chance to be a hero. This one swung on and missed. Inside curveball for a strike. He was looking for all of it on that one. 1-1 the count. The pitch on the way. Outside taken, 2-1. Nomar Mazara stands on deck. He has done well against right-handed pitching with a couple of home runs in this game. Mercedes, 2-1 count. The pitch on the way. Strike down the middle taken, 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's a 2-2 count. Yerman Mercedes, the darling of spring training, stands in. Swung on and chopped to short. Moncada will go to home and score. He was going on contact. Mercedes is out as it's flipped over to first, 6-3. The score stands at 7-6 with Jimenez holding at second base. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, Nomar Mazara with the tying run on second base. And he, the winning run, if he were to get a hold of one, steps up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th against Carl Edwards Jr. as the White Sox try to complete the comeback. Inside pitch, taken for a ball, 1-0 the count. Danny Mendick stands on deck with first base open. Would we see Tim Anderson come out here if he comes up? Outside pitch, ball 2. You want to give Anderson the day off, I get it. I see him over there talking to Renteria, begging to get into the game. He has that hit streak. If he were out on just 1 at bat, it would ruin his hit streak. I don't think he cares about that. I think he wants to get into the game. The pitch. Inside fastball taken, 2-1. It looks like Renteria is considering it, but the game is right now at home plate. 2-1 count to Mazara, the pitch. Inside taken, 3-1, with Mendick still standing on the on-deck circle. Anderson now wearing a helmet, still discussing it with Renteria. 3-1 count. The tying run at second base. Nomar Mazara facing off against Carl Edwards Jr. as the Sox fans are on their feet here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trailing by 1, the pitch. Low taken, ball 4, he will walk. And now what will happen? Will Danny Mendick come up or not? They jumped the gun and first said Mendick was coming up, but he was not announced by Renteria. He was already out there explaining that Tim Anderson is coming to the plate. He takes 2 cuts and walks up in front of this crowd, pinch hitting. Runners on first and second with 2 outs, and TA comes off the bench. He wants to hit. The first pitch on the way, swung on and driven down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It goes foul. He hit that one to the pole. It is foul. TA wanted all that one, baby. Hitting .390, standing up at the plate. A big moment. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and he's 0-2 now. Anderson needs to take a breath. He's excited. He's jacked up, and he almost won this game right there but now he's 0-2. Carl Edwards Jr. is in the driver's seat with Jimenez 180 feet away from tying this game at second base. The pitch on the way. Swung on and chopped foul down the first base line. They'll reset. Anderson is behind on Edwards, who is throwing fire trying to get it by him. The pitch. Inside in the dirt. The ball rolls. Jimenez will hold. It did not get away far enough for him to advance. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Curveball dropped out of the zone, and Anderson just missed that one. And the Mariners will escape here in the 9th inning. The White Sox gave it their absolute all here, trying to come back, but some defensive miscues midway through the game, spoiling what would have been, I think, an even better outing by Reynaldo Lopez. And then Jace Fry imploding and giving up a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs. The Sox attempt to come back and pulled every trick out of their hat to try to win this game here in the bottom of the 9th. A thrilling finish does not go their way as Anderson almost hit a home run on the first pitch there that just went foul, just missed hitting the pole down the right field line. And the Sox will drop this one 7-6 to the Seattle Mariners. The White Sox drop now to 6-4. They have won every series so far this season and could still do the same if they win the next 2 games against the Mariners. They'll be back tomorrow for another day game. The win goes to Hirano, who pitched 2 innings of stellar relief. The loss goes to Jace Fry, who did the exact opposite over 2/3 of an inning. Carl Edwards Jr. gets the shaky save. He's no longer perfect out there. He gave up a couple of hits and let a run score, but he held on. Kyle Seager, the player of the game, of course, with the 3-run home run. He went 2 for 3 today for the Seattle Mariners and had 5 RBIs out of the 7 that were driven in for the Mariners today. Once again, the White Sox dropped this one at home 7-6. They will be back again tomorrow afternoon. Yohan Moncada, 2 for 4 with a home run, an RBI, and 2-run score. Adam Engel, 2 for 3 with 2 doubles, an RBI, and 2 runs. Danny Mendick, 1 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. And James McCann, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. We will see you tomorrow for another White Sox simulated season brought to you by Cork and Carry at the Park over at 33rd and Princeton. Order some Grubhub right now from them, or go to corkandcarryatthepark.com. And remember to check out the post-game report for this game, as always, at SoxOn35th.com. We will be back tomorrow here on Sox in the Basement, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at SoxInTheBasement.com. Bye-bye, everybody.
Sox in the Basement. Sox in the Basement. Sox in the Basement.
Sox in the Basement. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always on SoxInTheBasement.com.